Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today on Channel 13. I am at Goddess 13 on YouTube. And today is Friday, June 26, 2026. Just checking in, see how y'all doing on this Friday. I know some of y'all at work and some of y'all getting ready for work and it's Friday. It's been a long week probably for everybody, but I just want to, check in with y'all, see how y'all doing today. As for myself, I'm just sitting here chilling. As y'all know, just taking it easy. I'm not doing too much of nothing. Just enjoying this gloomy kind of beautiful day. I like days like this. Last night where I'm from, it thunderstormed like no to no end, but I enjoyed it. You got to be thankful for nature and the theater that she brings us each and every day. Today I just want to talk about, risk assessment and dealing with individuals, whether it be coworkers, whether it be friends, family, significant others, just dealing with people and having the knowledge of being, having risk assessment and dealing with people in situations. Have you ever been in a situation where somebody asked you to hang out with them and you've never hung out with this person and they asked you to go out with them one weekend night and you kind of like, I don't know. Well, that's where the start of risk assessment comes into play. If you know this person for over a period of time, you start in your mind playing things that they've told you or you've seen for yourself or somebody else came and told you about them. You start assessing them like a movie that's playing in your head. So say for example, a girl asks you to hang out with her Saturday night downtown to go to, bar hopping. And you sit there and you tell her, yeah, but let me think about it and make sure, I don't have nothing else going on and I'll get back with you. So you start thinking about this girl and you start remembering how certain people came and told you that, she's real hot headed and, sometimes they've come and approached her with stuff and she flew off the handle about it, or when she drinks, she gets real loose and reckless and, she starts doing things that, you don't approve of, or it may bring negative attention to you and her. Or she likes to, post on social media a lot when she goes out and she's not aware of the things that she's posting because she's kind of out of it, she's a little bit intoxicated. So you sit and you think about this and you start saying to yourself, well, if I go out and hang out with her, I know these things about her. And if I go out with her, there's a slight chance that we go out, she gets drunk, she ends up taking her clothes off and having people record her. And, I don't want that type of attention brought to me. Or she goes out and she drinks a lot and she gets combative. And then I'm hanging out with her. And then I have to think about, her drawing that attention in and having to fend for my safety. Or she posts everything online and I kind of want a boundary set between professional life, home life, recreational life. And when you start thinking about all these things and you start thinking about how you operate in life and how you carry yourself, you seem to be like, I don't think this is going to work, so I'm just going to kind of cop out or tell her no thanks but no thanks, and I'm just going to go on and not even think about it because I have too much to lose, meaning I have too much to risk in my own life versus going out with somebody who, predominantly doesn't care, and you have too much to lose behind being with someone whose actions are not responsible. And people who think that way, it's kind of like a chess move. If you've never played chess, just Google it, try to get a little background on how it works. But one wrong move in the beginning can cost all of your men to be captured, and then you lose the game. A lot of people need to be more mindful about risk assessment and not just fooling with an individual, on a weekend night, but they need to compartmentalize risk assessment within, their jobs, their personal lives, their relationships, just being an overall human being in everyday functional society. When you walk in the path of risk assessment, you predominantly take a situation like the example that I had given you of going out with somebody on a weekend night, and you think all the way through from the time you meet up with that person to the time the engagement ends. If you know that person is combative when they're drunk, if you know that person likes to record themselves and put it on social media, if you know that person likes to get really loose and start stripping themselves of clothing, and you agree to go out with this person, then the actions that this person performs may cause you to be in the same situation as themselves. It's kind of like guilty by association. The old saying that they used to say, birds of a feather flock together. If you know you're a person who does not engage in any of that activity when going out and having spirits, then you don't need to go. Because if you know that this night is going to end up probably at the precinct or on social media, that could cause you to lose your job or have your partner question you the whole time you went out because she's on top of the bar stripping herself of clothing, he's going to think you're out there doing it too. So risk assessment is something that more and more people need to practice. you know Even on your job, it's kind of like, the workplace has a zero tolerance policy for illegal drug use. And every day after work, you're engaging in recreational drug activity. And one day you go to work and you hurt yourself. And you know that the job has zero tolerance for recreational drug use. So you hurt yourself on the job, and they're going to drug test you. And that by you engaging in recreational drug use, you're going to be popped. So then you either A, go and take it and let them dismiss you, or B, you go and say, okay, well, I don't want to do this. I refuse to partake in the drug test and I'll just quit. Either way, A or B, you still, at the end of the day, have lost your job and you no longer have employment. So it's kind of like asking yourself, is it worth me engaging in these activities and losing my job? Or is it just more beneficial for me to stay clean, keep my nose clean and don't engage in these activities? So therefore, if I do get hurt, I have nothing to worry about. Risk assessment is all about thinking it through from the beginning to the end, just like a chess game. The first wrong move that you make on the board in the beginning of the game will cost you all of your men being captured and you being checkmate. This also ties into with accountability. If you know that this person is known for all of these negative traits when they go out drinking on the weekends, if you know by engaging in illegal drug activity usage, off the clock can cost you your job, then why would you go and do those things? I know sometimes we want to do things because we just want to do them because that's just how we feel at the moment, which feelings are things that come and go. It ties in with emotion. It's like an emotion is like a roller coaster. It goes up, down, side to side, round and round, and back again. It's not a steady flow of energy. It's like a shooting star. Once it's shot, it burns bright, and then as it goes further on, it loses its light. Risk assessment is very important. And a lot of people want to dismiss it, but that's something that I've always thought about personally, because anything I do, I think it all the way through from the beginning to the very end. Meaning, interaction produces reaction, which produces results. Once again, interaction produces reaction, which produces results. So whether it's someone or something, you need to think it all the way through, because not having risk assessment will have an individual out here doing some wild stuff, which then produces a result of them being behind bars, losing their life, being shunned by society, um, a numerous amount of things that can go left. And it's even worse when someone goes out and reacts on a whim and they don't take into account risk assessment or accountability upon the interaction, which produces the reaction, which produces the results. A lot of people that this resonates with is, the stereotypical hothead person, quote unquote. They just shoot first and then ask questions later. You can't move along about in life with that mentality, because like I said, it will cost you whether you want to acknowledge it or not. Therefore, what I'm telling you is in any and everything, and I mean in any and everything, please consider risk assessment before you interact, because like I said, if you don't use risk assessment as first form of evaluation, then you will interact, you will react, which then produces a result. So with this, I just wanted you all to just take into consideration this today, and whatever you may be going through or faced with, or you know brought to your doorstep, just do risk assessment first. And along with risk assessment, please take in accountability as well. Well, you guys, I'm not going to stay on here any longer. Um, I just wanted to give y'all that for today and let y'all ponder and sit on that for today. And I hope everybody is having a good Friday afternoon. You guys be safe out there. Um, watch your surroundings and just, have a good weekend and a safe weekend. Until next time, you guys. Bye bye.